We will go straight to the point. In a previous video, in example 1, we completed the square of a quadratic where a is equal to 1. So here now, we are discussing completing the square of a quadratic expression where a is not equal to 1. Specifically here, a is equal to 5. So let's demonstrate how this can be done. So first and foremost, we've got to make a equal to 1. And we've got to do this in such a way that it does not undermine the integrity of the expression. So to do this, we create square brackets and we're going to factor out 5. We're going to factor out 5 by dividing 5 out throughout. Okay, so 5 has to be factored out, and in that square bracket will be a simplified or lower level quadratic with 5 divided out. Okay, if a value was 9, we would have factored out 9 to divide 9 out throughout. If a was equal to 2, we would have factored out 2 and divide throughout. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have 1x squared. As you know, we don't necessarily put the 1. Bear in mind, we want a 1 in front of x squared for us to begin the completing the square process. So all now, so we have not begun completing the square. We are creating a value of a is equal to 1 by dividing by the a throughout. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. Negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6. So we've got negative 6x. And 21 divided by 5. Since 5 is not a factor of 21, we can leave it as 21 over 5. So now we have created inside of that square bracket a quadratic where a is equal to 1, and the entire expression has not been undermined. This is the same 5x squared minus 30x plus 21. So because if you multiply by 5 again, the 5 can come back in front of the x squared. 5 is negative 30, and 5 by 21 over 5, the 5 cancels out, you get back your 21. Right, so what we do now, we're going to complete the square now of what is inside of the square bracket. And we know how to complete the square. You find out what is h and you find out what is k. Okay, so h now, that's the new number we want. We can call it h, we can call it p, does not really matter. H is equal to negative 6 divided by 2. We always divide b by 2, always by 2. Look at the previous video, okay? Here is the reminder, h and k. We can just copy it and paste it and bring it forward as a reminder. Just a reminder, when a is equal to 1, h is equal to b over 2. b now is negative 6 over 2. And k now is equal to c, which is 21 over 5. Okay, this new c we have inside there. Subtract h squared. Oh, negative 6 divided by 2 will give us a nice negative 3. Okay. So, because negative 6 is a multiple of 2. And negative 3 squared is actually 9, because negative 3 by negative 3 is equal to positive 9. Okay. So we have 21 over 5 minus 9. We can put 9 over 1. to make it look like a fraction, because we are subtracting fraction. And we can multiply by 5 to give us a common denominator of 5. 5 ones are 5. 5 nines are 45. And we have a common denominator of 5. So therefore now we can subtract the numerators, keeping the denominator. So 21 minus 45, that's a negative 24. So h is negative 3 and k is negative 24. So now in the next step, with the 5 outside, inside of the square brackets, we can open and close our curved bracket. X subtract 3, because 3 is h, the square coming outside of the bracket, and k now is negative 24 over 5. So we are not through completing the square, because we have to clear out that square bracket by multiplying by 5. So 5 will be multiplied to the curved bracket. So as you see, A will always appear in front of the curved bracket. And 5 have to be multiplied by negative 24 over 5. 5 times negative 24 over 5, the 5 cancels out, and you are left with negative 24. Okay. This positive here was cancelled out by that negative, so we have negative 24 over 5. 5 by negative 24 over 5 is negative 24. So here now we have our completed square, and as we can see now, our minimum point. Oh, and by the way, it's a minimum point because the value of A is a positive number. If the value of A was a negative number, let's say negative 5, it will be a maximum point. But since it's a positive 5, it's a minimum point. So I just want to make that clear. So as we can review from the previous video, that the x coordinate of the minimum point here is equal to negative h, which is 3. So you've got to change the sign. X minus 3 is equal to 0, so x is equal to negative 3. I can just rapidly do it there. Okay, to find the x coordinate of the minimum point, you make this expression equal to 0. Okay, so therefore x is equal to positive 3. That's the x coordinate of the minimum point. And the y coordinate of the minimum point is exactly this number here, is exactly the k value, which is negative 24. And that's the minimum value also. So here you have it. Completed square when A is not equal to 1. And from that, you can identify also the minimum point. So that's A and B. So pause, rewind, make sure you are participating in the video.